Good day, everyone. Ali Safi here, Safi Financial Network. Today is September 23rd, 2025. All right, daily analysis. S&P 500 rejected the high, going back down today at new all-time high yesterday. Today, we got pretty kind of like a decent corrective candle, or I should say bearish candle to the downside, bearish Rami. And market is closing at 66.60. That is a pretty nice level, and I should say, if market wants to go into the corrective phase, we need to get below this 6,600. So we will see how it goes, but I would say potentially we are going to start the correction. So as I said before, this is going to be a pullback, and this pullback, I'm not sure if this is started today or most likely it started today. And this pullback is going to be 5 to 10% correction, nothing more than that. And I would say potentially around 6,000 area. We can see market from the bottom and getting back to the upside for the final rally potentially for a multi-decade rally. And I believe that next year is going to be the market top, like in broad-based top, and the multi-decade top could be formed, and potentially that's going to be top for 20s. So we will see how it goes. Moving on to Nasdaq is the same, just getting to the upside and then getting back to the downside. This is the worst candle in December, as you see here. Sorry, September, and market Nasdaq just going all the way down to September, which is kind of like a rare scenario, but that happens. And I would say this is overstretched, overbought, and everyone needs to keep an eye on this level, 24,000 area. If Nasdaq goes below 24,000, it's not going to be just a Fed pivot breakdown. It's going to be this trend line break down to the downside, and the next level is coming to 23,000 area. So everyone needs to keep an eye on this, and I would say this is a very, very foreseeable scenario for the Nasdaq. We may go down. I'm not sure if we go all the way down to 20,000 to 21,000, but I would say 23,000, that's going to be most probable scenario, at least for the short-term correction. So I would say when we are getting to the September should be volatile. Actually, it was pretty good for the first, I would say half, and even we are at September 23rd, which is going to be 20 days of the month. So two-thirds of the month, actually, September was positive. But I would say this is the top, and most likely we are going to see a 5 to 10% correction even for Nasdaq. When we are saying 5 to 10% correction for S&P, which means more than 10% for Nasdaq usually. Moving on to the Dow hit new all-time high today. Doji bar, even new closing all-time high, just formed today, and then getting back to the downside. The future market goes down to the negative territory, 60 points down, and I would say Dow can go all the way down to 43,000. This is a weekly chart. Let me go to the daily chart just because I'm looking for the bigger time frame to see how it works, and this is a wedge. So this is a kind of like an ending diagonal wedge. And we are going to see that if Dow gets below this, this is a pretty nice shooting a star at the top. And when we get to the downside, I would say this downside could trigger mostly all the way down to 43,000. So we will see how it goes if that forms. If that forms, that would be a great kind of like a pattern for the buying opportunity. So keep an eye on this to see how it goes. Moving on to gold, which hit new all-time high today, rejected the highs. Gold hits, I would say 3,800 today. No, 3,791 for the cash spot gold, and pretty close to 3,800. My target was the 3,700, and as you see, we kind of like a go all the way above this, and getting back to the downside, potentially this is going to be a corrective move for gold. I believe that gold is hitting potentially weeks or months top to get all the way down to 34.52. And then after that, we can see some kind of like a rally again going back up. So that's going to be the first scenario for gold, actually. 34.52, that's going to be the bottom, potentially the test of these highs, which is going to be a great buying opportunity. Moving on to silver, which already topped yesterday. And today we got a doji bar. And this doji bar exactly goes into 42 to 44. This is the level that I was looking for, the area that I was looking for since, I would say, beginning of this year. As I said before, the beginning of this year, we were here somewhere around like if I want to just be precise here, and everyone's saying, Ali, what are you talking about? You're at 30, you're talking about like another potentially 50% to the upside, and you can't believe that. Silver, just a massive move since beginning of this year, $30 per ounce, right now $44 per ounce. So almost pretty close, like a 48%, 45% to the upside. Pretty great move for precious metals actually recently. So we'll see how it goes. But I would say they're topped and they're pretty close to the top if they are not topped already. And we should see some kind of like a pullback. On the other side, commodities, especially crude, is forming a pretty nice bottom. So crude just confirmed today, I would say, that the bottom is here, 2% up. And we're going to see that if this W pattern forms, we need to see above a 66, 67. If crude gets above 66, 67, and if by end of, I would say, October, if crude gets back above 70 to $72, that would be a great signal for crude going all the way up to $80. And this 97 is going to be a scenario on the side, but I would say $80 is very, very feasible scenario if crude gets back above 66 to $67 per barrel. So keep an eye on this level. Otherwise, crude is going to just show a higher low, a higher low, lower high. So that would be kind of like a triangle and getting back to the downside again. So crude needs to do or never situation. Right now, crude needs to go higher above 66, 67 if it wants to recapture $80 per barrel. Moving on to Bitcoin, this is a pretty nice QM pattern. I was not a buyer Bitcoin at these levels. As I said before, Bitcoin is lagging, and obviously it is lagging. You see that Bitcoin just a nice tradable rally right now, getting back to the downside. And I would say 107,000. That's going to be the area everyone needs to keep an eye on this, because if we get below this, and 95 to 97,000 is coming down the road. Ethereum at the same time, it didn't just flirting around with my roadmap. This is exactly what we were looking for. If you just follow the previous videos, you see that this is not a drafted today. This is kind of like the roadmap that we were expecting for. And nicely, we are just at a 4,100. So if Ethereum goes below 4,000, that's going to be a very nice scenario. 31 to 3,200 is coming down the road. Bond yield at the same time going up and then down today. So it seems like a bond yield after Jerome Powell discussion is getting into the weaker side, especially the dollar actually is getting into the weaker side as well. So bond yield is going down. TLT Treasury from the bottom, pretty nice bottom as we expected. And today, just nice confirmation today going back up, 89. So keep an eye on 90, because if it recaptures 90 and 91, I would say Treasury just on its way to 93 to 94, even $95. Dixie at the same time going down. If Dixie goes down below 96, that would be a huge sell signal for dollar. That's going to be weekly trend, and it's been broken to the downside. I would say it is broken already, and keep an eye on this trend, because if that breaks to the downside, that would be a huge sell signal for dollar, and it's not going to go back up anytime soon. VIX at the same time going higher. Yesterday was 4%. Today is up another 4%, and they're looking for 27 to 29. Apple formed the top here at very nice double top here after nice surge to the upside last 2-3 days. Amazon at the same time going down. This is exactly what we were looking for, and Amazon just without any play go down below 228. As I said before, if it goes below this, it's gonna just tackle all the way down to 204. So we'll see how it goes with Amazon. Meta seems like it's following the same pattern here. Keep an eye on 740 and then 720. If it goes below these two levels, then 640 is coming down the road. Microsoft 468 is coming down the road, I believe. So, this is going to be ABC pattern, and C just started. Google at the same time forming the top here. Seems like it's going to go all the way down to test this high, which is going to be this gap window and gap fill. So 210 to 215. Right now we have 251. So just if you don't have a stop loss, if you're an investor, or if you want to just to scale down, I would say this is going to be a good level for scaling down, because I would say market is going to get back to the upside. But that would be a very nice sell signal for lots of names. Netflix at the same time forming a pretty nice head and shoulder here. So the neckline is going to be 1175. It seems like a 1050 is coming down the road. Tesla forming a pretty nice bearish engulfing at the top here. This is like the resistance here. I would say Tesla can go all the way down to 360. Semiconductor index as a match formed the top here. Stocks the same pattern here. Nvidia just formed a bearish Harami here, and it can just tackle 150, 145, I believe so. AMD just tackling this W pattern, but never triggered. So we need to get close, strong close above 164, which never happened. Right now, 160 rejected the highs, and it can go down to 130 to 115. Taiwan Semiconductor, nice doji bar at new all-time high. If we get a bearish candle tomorrow with a gap down, that would be a nice evening star or abandoned baby pattern at the top, which is one of the most classic pattern at the top. It can go all the way down to this gap fill and even 220. So we'll see how it goes. I need to work on the levels. Texas Instrument is just forming a nice tradable rally or corrective rally for a next sell-off to 160 to 164. Lamb Research hit a new all-time high today, came back down after hours again. It's going to close at new all-time high. So we will see how it goes tomorrow. Moving on to the financials, XLF forming a pretty nice shooting star at the top here. KBE, the same pattern here, shooting a star. Seems like this bullish consolidation is about to fail. KRE, the same pattern is about to fail. JP Morgan, nice new all-time high today, but rejected very sharply and going down. Goldman Sachs at the same, close positive, but look at new all-time high rejection and shooting a star at the top. Bank of America, the same pattern here. All in all, I should say, there are lots of reversal candles today forming different sectors. So that is a very strong warning signal for the market, I would say. Gold miners even, gold was high at a new all-time high, and gold miners actually closed at new all-time high, but get back down, 74, GDXJ, $95 just came back down, and AEM is the same. It's just never get to new all-time high today. Yesterday was, but today just got positive candle, but you see that sellers took control entire session. Newmont, pretty nice doji, would say shooting a star at the top, and it's not new all-time high, but very close. And Newmont, I would say if we get a gap down tomorrow, that would be a nice abandoned baby, more evening star. Moving on to the energy sector, which I am pretty positive on this, and I believe that these ones are one of the sector, actually, one of the kind of like a handful sector that you can see they will have a good performance for the next months or so. XLE just formed positive today, and I believe that they're at the beginning of a new bullish rally to the upside. Exxon, the same here. It's kind of like a pretty close to give me a confirmation. Keep an eye on 116, 117. Any close above that one leads us to 125 or even new all-time high. Chevron is the same. It just rejected 160, close at 157. However, I would say this rally can go higher. So just keep an eye on this one. All right, folks, I believe I covered everything. If you like this video, please smash the like button, subscribe to our channel. And what do you think? The correction is started, or this is just the minimal pullback, the same as we saw in July, August, and the rally is continuing? I will read all your comments and answer your comments immediately. Have a good one. See you on the chart. Bye-bye.